Hello, subscribers. Welcome to a live stream. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. I'm not playing a game, I'm just working on my Wizardry 7 mod with Cosmic Forge, the modding tool. So, I'm currently taking items from Wizardry 6, whether it's the items that existed in the original 6 or ones that I added to 6 based on the changes I made in Wizardry 8. So I've added a whole slew of items to Wizardry 8. I put a bunch of those back into Wizardry 6 retroactively, and now we have to try to get them all to match up with my Wizardry 7 mod. So I want to have all these contiguous, a nice contiguous mod with all kinds of different additional items. So the challenge is internal IDs have to be used to match things up. And the problem is Wizardry 6 and 7 didn't have the exact same items. There's some differences. Wizardry 7 has some additional spells that 6 doesn't have. So that, in addition to quest type items, causes all kinds of discrepancies. So basically what I have to do is remap all these items. What further complicates it is the way treasure works. So, for example, if I bring this up, let me make sure you can see it. Yep, okay. If you look here, this is a treasure chest in Wizardry 6. And you'll see that there's a 100% chance in this treasure chest that you will get fairy dust. But that's not really true. That's what it makes it look like. In reality, this 4 indicates how many items past this item to randomly choose from. So when we hit this, drag it over here, fairy dust has an ID of 637. But because there's a 4 there, it means the treasure chest may generate this. This is the second, this is the third, or this is the fourth. So the treasure chest can go anywhere from there to there. So when I remap these item IDs, you can just imagine how much things get thrown off with all the treasure in the game. Because I'm swapping things around, now things aren't compatible, are being listed in various treasures and monster drops. So it's just a huge amount of work. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. I just wanted to explain that before I actually continue. So you'd be like, why are you doing this? Okay, this window here is the Wizardry 7 database values. This here is my Wizardry 6 mod values. So you'll find certain areas where it's all contiguous because I've mapped up a bunch of things already. But it looks like the next thing is a magic missile scroll. And we got that. So the item types match up. So now I'm just going to match up properties and make sure things are consistent. Here in Wizardry 6 mod, I have this at 200 gold. Over here it was 250. So adjust that. Weight's the same. Charges for spells changed. I'm making all scrolls have 4 charges. Let's see, it's power 4. Yep. So we change this to power 4. Okay, everybody can use it, all professions, all races. This is new in Wizardry 7. Wizardry 6 did not have the artifact skill determine if something could be identified. In 7, that's where it started. So now I actually have to go over to Wizardry 8 sometimes and look and see what I have over there. So I've got that editor up as well. So scroll of magic missiles. We have an assay artifacts of 2. So, or I'm sorry, 12. The curio is 2. So we'll go ahead and match that up. Just go ahead and minimize that. Come back over here. It's already 2, so we're good there. Okay, anything else? The weight's the same. Yep, so we're done with that one. Next, terror scroll. So most of these, the scrolls will be the same, where I'm adjusting charges and I'm adjusting price. Everything else will typically stay the same. Well, in the power level, we're going to boost that. Okay. The curio on this one is probably 1. Ah, it's still 2. Okay. So we'll leave that. Dispel Undead. That's the next one. So the price decreased. The weight on this, here's the other thing. I am finding discrepancies in weights and other things that I'm doing as I'm going along here. Scrolls really should probably weigh 0.1. Let me see what they are in Wizardry. No, they're 0.3. Considering lightening that, the problem is I'll have to do it on all the scrolls. It's probably worth it though. So I go on tangents like this, where I find an inconsistency in all the games, and then I have to decide, well, where am I going to change it? Do I want to change it on all of the mods? Do I want to change just one? So in this particular case, I'm going to go back to the Wizardry 8 mod and fix it there. And I'm keeping track of my notes as I go along. Here you can see. Say decreased weight of all scrolls to 0.1. Some or 0.3. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll have to do it on all the merged scrolls as well. Yeah, scrolls should not weigh 0.3. They should be super, super light. Made of paper. So you can see working on mods is just a lot of tediousness and a lot of time. But when we get done, that'll be super exciting to have a mod that's consistent. Wizardry 6 through 8. These games are amazing and they deserve to have extra longevity. I'm really looking forward to actually playing Wizardry 7 again, especially being modded. Super excited about that. Okay, I think that's all the regular scrolls. Now we have to do the exact same thing for all my mergeable scrolls. Because in Wizardry 8, you can merge items. So I made it where you can have full control over your scrolls. You can decide if you want to keep them at power level 2, or do you want to merge it up to a power level 4, or spend even another scroll to merge it up to power level 6. You get to decide. Can't do that in Wizardry 6 and 7, but we could do it in 8 still. It would be fantastic to someday be able to recreate Wizardry 6 with the Wizardry 8 engine. That would be fantastic, but man, that would take years to do. And I don't know if I would have the talent to do the models, the 3D models. I'd have to spend a ridiculous amount of time doing that as well, and that's just not very feasible. But wouldn't that be amazing? Then you could have strategy with party positioning and Wizardry 6. That would be crazy. Hey there, Ron. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Good to see you. Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How's Canada up there? Been having lots of rain here where I'm at. We're getting there. It's very tedious to go through all these and adjust weights and stuff. You're doing well. Glad to hear it, Ron. Got some Canadian folktales on eBay, and now just settling in to watch stream. Cool. What folktale books did you get? I'm assuming they're books, right? Guess that's what you call them. Weather's nice. You have a baseball team that's aiming to make the playoffs, but it could be a third time for the last. Could be 3-team time for the last spot. I'm not sure what that means, but that's cool about having a team make the playoffs, possibly. Could be a 3-team time for the last spot. I'm not sure. Oh, a 3-team tie. Okay, gotcha. So what would happen if it's a 3-team tie? How do they decide that? Do they actually add in an extra game and have 3 teams duke it out? Almost done updating the weights here. And then I have to go back and do it in the Wizardry 6 mod. And then I'll come back to the Wizardry 7 mod and adjust. They'd have to do a round robin. Ah, okay. Each team plays each other. Best record from the series wins. I see. And Ron says, what are you making in Cosmic Forge? So I am working right now on adjusting weights on all the scrolls. You know, I've already released Wizardry 8 and 7 or 6 mods. So I'm working on my 7th. And as I do that, I find inconsistencies. And then I have to decide, do I want to go back and retroactively apply changes to all the mods, or do I update Wizardry 7 to match the 6 and 7 or 6 and 8 mods? Sometimes I, decide one way or another just based on whether I want it to be more consistent or if I want it to stay the way it is. If I feel like I did it right the first time, then I'll adjust 7. But every once in a while, I find something like this. The weights of these scrolls, I'm like, wow, they're 0.3. No, that's too heavy for a scroll. It should be lighter in case you're wanting to carry around a ton of scrolls with you. It won't burden you. So that's what I'm doing. Right now, I'm applying all these to Wizardry 8 mod. And then I'm going to apply them to the 6. Okay, so the 8 one's done. So now what we'll do is we'll close this and hit save. You can see it wrote out the file. So then I already updated my notes because I got to keep track of all this. So I decreased the weight of all scrolls in the Wizardry 8 mod. Okay. In fact, let me bring over all my notes here. Here's my Wizardry 7 notes. Here's my Wizardry 6 notes. So now we'll go back to the Wizardry 6 mod. Let's do it this way. And update all the scrolls. Luckily, this one, I don't have merge capability for the scrolls, so there's only one version. I don't have 3 versions. Ron says 0.3 does seem quite a bit. Maybe they are made of really good quality paper. Yeah. Well, we know scrolls used to be parchment, right? So in reality, maybe it was 0.3, and maybe I just decreased the weight to make it unrealistic, but that's okay. Let's go down the line here. See, terror's been fixed. The spell on dead's fixed. This is where I found the inconsistency. So I was adjusting it in Wizardry 7. I'm like, wait a minute. Wizardry 6 had it as 0.1. But then I found a scroll or two that wasn't 0.1. So all these are 0.1. Good. I don't have to adjust those. Okay, and then these are books. Books obviously would weigh more. And then I added more scrolls down here. Let's look. Yeah, see, this one's not right. That should be 0.1. Just want to have it as consistent as possible. Here's another one that's wrong. Magic screen scroll. Okay, well, the majority of them were correct in Wizardry 6 mod. So we go down here and hit save. Tells us it saved it. So now I'm just left with doing all the ones in 7. It's over here. But like I was saying earlier, it's just extreme amount of time it takes to mod. Very tedious. Trying to make all these consistent. Wow, that is, yeah, this price is way off in Wizardry 7. Fireball scrolls for 1,000. Wow, nobody ever used those. I'll definitely go back and fix all that stuff. Want to give the player more options, Make it where they can play the game how they want to play the game, not feel pigeonholed. Yeah, 1,000 gold for a fireball scroll. What the heck? Ron says 1,000 gold. That's way too much. 999 is more reasonable. Sounds like you work on a marketing team, Ron. Good old marketers at the 999. It's a big psychological trick that works on most people for some reason. It's pretty funny. Oh, see, we're done with the scrolls. Okay. Are there any other scrolls down here? I've added tons of items, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's more scrolls that I haven't added yet. Okay. Save this. Okay. So now we got to get back to the actual scrolls. So I was looking at Magic Missile. Ah, I already found a discrepancy. So in Wizardry 6, it's called Magic Missiles. Wizardry 7, it's Magic Missile. Let's see what 8 has to say about it. It's plural. So we're going to fix Wizardry 7. Magic Missiles. 100 gold seems more in line. Yeah, we'll see what I have it set at once we get to it. Because I've already balanced out all the prices. Okay, Terror. 100. It's mainly based on the spell level. Fireball's level 3 spells. Okay, 200 gold for Dispel Undead. We need to bump up power level to 4 and give it 4 charges. I already did that on Terror, I think. Yep. Okay. Slow is next. Power level 4. 4 charges. That price is correct. Knock, knock. It was already power 4. 500 it was in Wizardry 7. No way. No way. Dropping that to 200. And that's with 4 charges. So in reality, it's only 50 gold per charge now. Where before it was 500 for a single charge. No way. Nobody would use those. Okay, now, Hold Monsters is really Hypnotic Lure. I have renamed that to make it consistent across all wizardries. So this whole scroll needs to be renamed. Hypnotic Lure. Now what you see here is a little slash in between those words. The slash means force the game engine to make a new line. So Hypnotic will be on one line and then Lure will be on the next line. Okay, so let's look at the price. This should be 300 for 4 charges. And the power level should be 4. 3. Okay. Fire shield. Ah, see, now this is where we run into the first item mismatch that I'm going to have to show you. So here we can see the Wizardry 7 item ID for Whipping Rock Scroll is 341. It's 341 for Fire Shield in Wizardry 6. So now I have to remap this thing. So what I'm going to do is see if I have first recreated a Whipping Rock Scroll in Wizardry 6. I did. It is 345. That's its internal ID in 6. So we need to go to 345 and swap this. So it was haste. We're going to hit swap. We're going to find whipping rocks. If you really want to do it, yes. Now here's the deal with this. This is what makes this so hard for certain items. Now all these loots are off. All the drops, monster drops, store items you can buy, they're all screwed up now. Because it'll be fine with these scrolls, but normally when you move items around like that, some monster drops will drop that particular item, or it'll drop a range of items with the IDs being sequential. And if your item that you just swapped happened to fall within that range, now that monster drop's going to include this swapped item instead of the original. So I have to spend time trying to reorganize all of the monster drops, and there's only a limited number of ID ranges you can do too. That's what further complicates it. So it's extremely difficult and time consuming to do this, and anytime I got to swap items, which happens a lot. I'm just trying to explain to those watching why it's such a pain. All right, so Whipping Rocks has now been remapped to 345. That's what it is in Wizardry 6 mod. So before I continue, let's update the values for it. You can see Tsunami Power 3 is not right, and that's because I've had to remap some spells to bring back some spells that are in Wizardry 8 to put them into my 1 and 2 mod. So this is actually going to be Whipping Rocks, which is earth-based. Power 4. Give it 4 charges. Okay. So now we got to go back to where that haste scroll was. And in Wizardry 6, it's actually Fire Shield. So let's see if we have a haste scroll. We do. We got to swap this. Haste is in position 837. So let's find 837. It's right here. It's a free empty slot. So that'll make it a little easier to swap. Still doesn't solve the treasure issue, but okay. And then we'll go back to Hypnotic Lure, Fire Shield. So finally now you look, we're at 341 and it's empty. So what we're going to do is use this handy recreate item from. I'm just going to pick a different scroll. Let's just do Whipping Rocks. And we're going to rename it to Fire Shield and apply that. So now in position 341, we have something named Fire Shield. 300 gold, that matches. Obviously, we don't want Whipping Rocks on this. We want Fire Shield. Power 4. Save. So that's how we just created a Fire Shield scroll. In fact, let me see if there already was one. There wasn't. So that's good. I didn't think there was, but I should have double checked that before I recreated it. All right. So all that work just to move one item. It's a lot of work. Hey, Percy, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Good morning to you as well. Okay, what's the next item in our Wizardry 6 mod? Ice Shield. And we have something called a Missile Protect in Wizardry 7. That's not going to work. Let's see if we have an Ice Shield scroll. Nope. So what I do now is I'm thinking to myself, do I have a Missile Shield scroll? And is it called Missile Protect or is it called something different? We do have Missile Shield. It's in position 834, but it is called Missile Shield. And Wizardry 7, for some reason, They renamed it to Missile Protect. So we're going to get rid of that inconsistency. We're going to call it Missile Shield, just like the others. We're going to bump it to power 4. We're going to give it 4 charges. And the price on this should be 200. Now we have to adjust its ID slot. It's in the wrong slot. So we need to go to 834. And it's a free slot, which is great. So we'll say swap, missile shield, yes. And then we're back at our original slot here. Which is ice shield. So we'll recreate an ice shield. You're doing well, Percy. Glad to hear it. Woke up not too long ago, so first things first, coffee. There you go. Got to get that caffeine going, don't we? All right, so let's recreate an ice shield. Just borrow the fire shields for now. Let ice apply. It's, I'm sure, a water-based spell. Yep. Boom. Now we got ice shield scrolls in Wizardry 7. Okay. Armor plate was next. Now see, it starts matching up again. These IDs match, so that's good. I don't have to waste time. Just do money adjustment, power level adjustment, and charge adjustment. Next, enchanted blade. 200. 4 and 4. Whipping rocks we already adjusted. Here's fireball. Look at that, 1,000 gold for 1 charge of fireball in Wizardry 7. No way. We're giving 4 charges for 300 gold. So much more usable and economical. The other thing is, why is this 25? That's a level 3 spell. Let me check the Wizardry 8. See what the curio is there. Scroll of Fireball. Yeah, it should be 3. Curio of 3. Not 5. What in the world? Okay. Major adjustments there. Now we got another discrepancy. So in Wizardry 7, there's a blink scroll in this position. And we have a conjuration scroll. So let's see if Wizardry 6 has blink scroll. It does. It's in position 838. Right here. Blank. Let's go back and adjust the values on it. So yet again, this should be a curio of 3 because it's a level 3 spell. Yep. Power 4. 4 charges. 300 gold. Not 750. Okay. Get back to our position here. Conjuration, I think, is what was next. Yeah. Okay, do we have a conjuration? We have conjure, so this needs to be renamed. Conjuration to be consistent. And position needs to be 347. Wow. Curio of 7. Now, here's the problem with this spell. This does not exist in Wizardry 8. It does exist in 6 and 7. 6 does not use artifacts for Curio. However, for Identify Item, and the artifact skill in Wizardry 7, we need to know it. So what I really need to do here is find a level 4 spell, because that's what this is, and match the Curio on that. 6. Let's see here. So Magic Screen 4. Let me find a level 4 spell here. It's Armor Melt, level 4. Curio's 3. So we're going to leave it at 3. Drop, drop, drop. Okay. Now the price is way off. It needs to be 400. Power level is right. That needs to go up. Okay, it's not matches. Next is Illusion. It matches up, thank goodness. So 400. Charges. Curio. Now we have an empty slot here in 349, which is Prismic Missile in Wizardry 6. So let's see. And this, here's the weird thing about Wizardry 7. They have 2 spells that do the exact same thing. Dazzling Lights and Prismic Missile. One is cast by Psionic and one is cast by mages, I believe. It makes no sense. I looked at the properties on them. They're exactly the same. And you can just assign Prismic Missile to Psionics, which is what Wizardry did. And that's what I did in Wizardry 6. So I don't know why they did that. The resistance type's the same. Everything's the same. So basically, I've made Dazzling Lights disappear because I can't reuse it as another spell type. So do they have a Dazzling Light scroll? No. Do they have Prismic Missile? No, they don't, surprisingly. So we will create a new spell here. Let's do Conjuration's fine. Prismic Missile. What level is that? Well, it's called Prismic Ray in here. Power 5. So I will bump the Curio on that by 1. Make sure it's called Prismic Ray here. It is, okay. So we'll keep that consistent. Price should be 500. Okay. Levitate matches up. Nice. 1,500 they had in Wizardry 7 for that. For 1 charge of Levitate, which doesn't even last long. That's so unbalanced. No, you're going to get 4 charges for 500. That's a spell that doesn't exist in Wizardry 8. Okay. Make sure it's a level 5. Yep. Okay. Zap Undead. This is a new spell in Wizardry 7. It's only in 7. And it's only usable by mages, which I thought was weird. But again, I can't really repurpose that spell because it will only target one particular race type. It won't do damage to anything else. And so it's like, well, what am I going to do? Have it just do damage to something like I don't know, a fighter only? It just doesn't make sense, so I have to leave it. So we're going to move this. The other possibility is I could just get rid of this scroll entirely. That might be what I do. Let me see if there was a lifesteal scroll. There isn't. Okay, then that's what I'm going to do. This thing is now going to become lifesteal. You will never find a Zap Undead scroll. And lifesteal, I believe, is level 5. It's level 6. Okay. So we will bump the curio on that. Price 800. Apply. I know, Ron, isn't that weird? It was for mages. I guess they wanted to give mages the ability to deal with undead somehow with the Zap Undead. And it only hits one enemy. It does like a lot of damage. Like 50 per power level to a single undead creature. But yeah, it was kind of weird. The funny thing is bishops could actually get it because bishops get mage and priest spells in Wizardry 6 and 7. And that's a mage spell. So the bishop could zap undead, but the priest couldn't. The priest does get dispel undead. That's, does just kills undead outright. So, all right. So we got lifesteal. Resurrect is next. The price needs to go up. Charges. Did I give 4 charges to this? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. Right, and then armor melt. Oh, see, now we're getting into books in Wizardry 6. Yeah, all these books are going to be in the wrong position. All right. Let's see if there's an armor melt. There is. It's in position 847. Swap. Armor melt. Yes. Okay. 1,000 gold for 1 charge of armor melt. Are you serious? No. You get 4 charges for 400. Yeah, I just don't know what they were thinking with the balancing on the scrolls. Because first of all, you have to use a totally separate skill called scribe. So you're dumping investing points into this thing called scribe that only works with scrolls. There's a limited number, and then they cost that much? No, that's bad balance. So I have really fixed that to make it where having scribes in your party is actually beneficial now, and it's a strategy you can actually deal with. Ron says, weird. These scrolls must be written on gold leaf. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, it's almost like they didn't do enough play testing to determine if that was balanced or not. Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of. Okay. So now we're going to go back and move the crush scroll, which it doesn't look like we have a crush scroll in Wizardry 6. I did create that spell, but I didn't make a scroll. So what this means is we're going to create an item that is in 7 only. I could retrofit it to 6 if I want to, which I may do. But we're going to put it at a high item slot above ID 911. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to say create new in the Wizardry 6 mod. And I'm going to create some buffers here, some gaps. So right here, position 916 is where I'm going to plan on putting this crush scroll. Let me make sure that that's not taken up in Wizardry. It is, see, a broadsword +1 exists there in Wizardry 7. Okay. Let's just make it much higher. Because I may have more scrolls that I want to do that with. Man, I'd have to get all the way up to 1038. I'm looking for a big gap here. Just not seeing one that's higher than 900. No, this is going to take a while, but that's why I'm doing this on stream. Percy says, I wonder sometimes when I hear about some game mechanics that the developers just hated and decided to make so bad, it's like a bad joke if you invest time, money, and permanent choices into them. Yeah, that is definitely true for some games. I agree with you, Percy. I do not think that's the deal with this. Because D.W. Bradley developed this by himself. He would not have spent all this time on making the scrolls and everything and making it a separate skill and everything, just to then turn around and do that. But you're right, there are some games that are that way. It at least seems that way. They're like, oh, I hate that. Let's just cripple it. Yeah, this will allow me to retrofit this if I want the Wizardry 6. I wouldn't have to do this if the treasure mapping worked like how the Wizardry 8 treasure mapping works, where you can pick in up to 40 individual items. With this, you have to use sequential IDs to get multiple items in a certain section of a treasure. It's a nightmare. So that's why I do this kind of thing. You're limited to having only like 6 or 7 treasure slots per drop. So if you want a whole bunch of items possible, you got to have them sequential. It's just, I'm glad it changed in Wizardry 8. It's so much easier to mod Wizardry 8. Getting there. We need to get to 1035 or at 1000. Ron says it just seems like a lot of work to do something like that out of spite. Yeah. I think in this case, most likely it just wasn't enough testing. I mean, you want to get the game out early, you don't want to test it for a year after it's totally done. That you'd lose so much money. That's not how gamer developers work. And shoot, today it's much, much worse. They push out games knowing things are broken Okay, there we go. So let's pick this position. And we're going to do crush. Position 1035. Okay. Almost tempted to go ahead and make this. Let's do it. We'll make it in the Wizardry 6 mod right now. Crush, even if I don't assign it to a treasure drop. Price is the same. Apply. Save. Oh, I started putting potions there. Let's adjust it again then. We'll put it in this position. 144. Okay. Okay. Crush. Okay, now it's in 144, 144. Save. Back here. Boom. Okay. This price was 300. It's not going to be power 5, it'll be power 4. I have 4 charges. And that drops. Okay, now save it before it crashes on us. Tool's very stable. It hardly ever crashes. All right, now we can get all the way back to the position we were in just to get the original item. That's a potion. Here's the scroll. So, Book of Levitation. That's what we ultimately need to recreate here. Percy says, I'm sure other factors often come into play too, like the original concept being quite ambitious, but the budget running out and content being watered down or cut. Yeah, very true, very true. Ron says true, but I mean, even if that's the case, the price of the scrolls is so high as to prohibit people from using them. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure Percy's not talking about this individual case. He's talking about other games, but yeah, you're right there too, Ron. All right, Book of Levitation. Does this have that? It does. It's in the wrong position. So we need to get that into 353. Okay. Now let's adjust price. Wow, it's 12,000 gold. Well, we're going to match Wizardry 6. Apply. That's really weird that it has 3 charges on that. Doesn't make sense. Monk and Psionic. Yeah, bards don't use any magic stuff in my mods. They have a lot more instruments now. I removed their mage spells, so I need to make that adjustment too. So Psionics get levitation. Let me double check that. Here's all the spells. Let's see. Levitate. Yep, I already made that adjustment. Okay. think what I'll do now is remove the bard from all these books before I forget. Yeah, bards do not get mage spells. Hey, look at that, Ron. A book of fables. Speaking of folklore. Okay, bards don't get mage spells in Wizardry 8 because there's so many instruments, and that's the concept I brought back to 6 and 7. They have a lot more instruments now, so it's overpowered to give them mage spells. Book of Poetry. Book of Relics. That's really weird. I guess this has different behavior. I may have to come back to this one. That should be the Identify spell. Book of Scene. Get rid of that. Watch bills. Okay. All right. Go back. Good levitation. Okay, and then Wizardry 6. The next is Book of Widows, which is Deadly Poison. I don't think this one had that, so we're going to add it. Yeah. Rename Book of Widows. 15,000 gold. Ranger, Alchemist, Ninja. Deadly Poison. I wish the Deadly Poison spell existed in Wizardry 8, but it doesn't. Deadly Poison, where are you? Okay. That's why I added the item Deadly Poison. It's a bomb you can throw. Next should be a Book of Identity. Now, Wizardry 6 did not have confusion. But I've renamed this. Confusion is now Insanity. I don't think I had there's no Insanity spell either, is there? No, not in Wizardry 6. So this, first of all, gets renamed Sanity. And it's a level 2 spell? Yeah. Dropping this. So we'll move this all the way to the end. Sanity. Okay. So we don't need to do anything over here in Wizardry 6. So it looks like our next book is Book of Identity. See, that's what's weird here is in Wizardry 8, they made the Identify book called Book of Relics. But in Wizardry 7, the Book of Relics is something totally different. It actually has some weird thing where it can increase your artifacts, it appears. So now I gotta figure out how to make this consistent. I think I'm gonna go back to Wizardry 8 and change that one. Book of Relics has been renamed to Book of Identity. So let's bring up that. Book of Identity. Okay. Yeah, and the other thing I need to eventually do is adjust prices on books. I don't have those consistent yet. Okay. So this does not have Book of Identity. So we'll recreate from the Book of Relics and then adjust it. Artifact boost, none. Okay, it looks like Priest, Sonic, Valkyrie, Bishop, Lord. $7,500. That's gonna end up being too expensive, I know, but I'm not gonna adjust all the prices now. Okay. Done with that one. Next was the Book of Peace. We got a mismatch. So let's see if there's a wizard eye scroll in 6. There is not. So this will go to the end. Level 3 spell. This cost is way off. We're going to do 300 for 4 charges, not 1,500 for 1. There you go. Ron says, what does the Book of Fables do? Just a spell book? It's not a spell book. I'll have to look at it again. But no, it was not a spell book. Let's see. So it's in a treasure drop, a treasure chest, Book of Fables loot. It's by itself. It has no internal game usage. It has no use. Oh, read. It has text in it. The Witch's Tale. See up here? So it has this whole story written into it. So you read the text. So it probably explains something about the plot of the game, is my guess. Okay. So now, Book of Peace. What is this? Sane Mind. Okay. Rename. Peace. 15,000. Monk. Miss Monk on that. Oh, and does this one miss it? Ah, this one's wrong. Wizardry 6 one's wrong too. Monk should be able to use that. Okay, let's make a note. Ron says, I got you. I like how it's a book of fables, but there's just one in there. No, there's probably multiples. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe there is just one. Based on the title, you mean, yeah. Okay, so that's been adjusted. I'm gonna change, nah, I'll do that later. Okay. Piece is correct. Book of Peace. Okay. All right, we got that corrected now. Sane Mind, Power 4. I think in Wizardry 8, it might be Book of Sanity. Let me look. I'm going to rename it if that's the case. Yep. Rename Book of Peace. Okay. Book of Anti-Magic is next. All right, do we have Remove Curse Scroll? Yes, we do. Position 850. Remove Curse. I want to see if there's any item here. Looks like Balkanzor has an explicit remove curse. You can see because it's a blank here now and there's only a 1. So let's put that back. Anytime you swap these items, it throws off all the treasure. It's major pain. Okay, so this should be 500. 4 charges. Okay. So, is there a book of anti-magic? Yes, there is. Okay, we got that in the right position now. Oh, why is that so high? Level 5 spell. Yeah, that's just Curious way too high. Monks, Sanix. Okay. Brilliant Helm is next. Okay. This is weird. So, Restful does not exist in Wizardry 6. that restores stamina for the whole party. So this can definitely be moved. Level 3 spell. So drop the price. Okay. So right here we want a Brilliant Helm. Does not exist in Wizardry 7. That was a Wizardry 8 only item. What are we going to choose? That kind of looks like the picture in Wizardry 8. But mages, anybody can wear it. So I'm trying to think of what picture would be more appropriate. Almost kind of want to use that. Yeah, let's use that one. So, weighs 10, armor class -6, gives an intelligence boost, 3 charges. Everyone can use it. Okay, let's look at the Wizardry 8 Curio, since that's the only place that exists. 8, okay. There we go. Now we have Brilliant Helm in Wizardry 7. I'll have to figure out what treasure drops will give that. Okay, next. Flynn's Cap. That does exist. But what I want to do first is get this out of the way. Healthful we'll put right after Restful. It's a level 5. Power 3. Okay. All right, so now we can swap it with Flynn's cap. There we go. Let me see if Flynn's cap had any. Nope, it's for all 3 of these drops, so it was a random. It's not a set drop. So that's fine. Readjust all this stuff later anyway. That'll be very time consuming. Okay, -4. Thief Ranger Bard only. Missiles and acid resistance. 30%. Scouting, yep, we get 6 charges of that. It's interesting. In Wizardry 6, it showed this cap's picture, not the feathered hat. There is a feathered hat. I did not choose that. So which one do I want to make which? A cap. This does not look like a cap to me. Let's do this one. Next, Holy Basher. Yes, it matches up. The IDs match up again. All right, damage is the same. To hit's the same. Life force. Oh, I already did this. That's why. Okay, cool. Miter de Sanct. Looks like I already did this. Nice. Okay, this is different. There's actually, is it create life? What was it called? Powder creation. So this is actually the same thing as Mystic Dust. So we want to get this into position 362. We're going to rename it to Mystic Dust. This is going to not point to Mystic Dust. We have to now point it to locate person, since that's swapped. Okay, cool. Ron says Mystic Dust sounds like a slang term for cocaine. It does, doesn't it? So this goes down. This goes down. Price drops a ton. Drops. Okay, I think that's pretty matching now. Let the weights off. 0.2. This needs to be 0.2 in Wizardry, in the Wizardry 6 mod. Let me make a note of that. Okay. Okay. Next, Book of Shielding. Does that match up? No, it doesn't. Ice Shield. Does that exist? No, it doesn't. Oh, there's Book of Ice Walls. That's what it is. Okay. Let's rename this. And 380, 363. Go. All right, that's 5,000. Looks good. Ninja. Alchemist. Ranger. Okay. Book of Errors. Oh, that matches. Okay, good. Price went up. Air pocket. Yep, yep. This is correct, except, wait a minute. Doesn't show ninja in 6. I think that's a mess up. Air pocket. Where are you? Alchemists, yeah, they can cast air pocket. So yeah, that's a mistake. In the Wizardry 6 mod, ninja should be able to use this. All right, everything else good. Air pocket, blah, blah, blah. Yep, okay. Book of Resting. Nope, mismatch. Here it's Book of Stamina. 374. What? This is really messed up. It's showing only Rangers and Alchemists use the Book of Stamina. What the heck? In the Wizardry 6 mod. No, that is not right. Um, let's get this removed first. 374. Okay. Let's double check and make sure Psionics can get stamina. I'm not sure about that. That was the wrong window. Spell list. Stamina. Yes, they can. Okay, then that's good. So that's been fixed. Save. Okay. Save this too, since I made a bunch of adjustments. Ron says, LOL, imagine if you could turn these books into weapons. Have they worked from thrown range? Like, oh, have them work. Okay, have them work from thrown range. Yeah, you throw a book and it does like 1 damage. 1% knockout chance. Okay, let's go back to the Book of Errors. It's unlike you to have typos, frequent typos, Ron. You must be busy doing something else. You've had several typos today, and you never have typos. Okay, let's see here. Air shield. Oh, now this is interesting. They call it air shield in Wizardry 6. Hmm. So Wizardry 7 doesn't even have that book. And then I think in 8, isn't it Missile Shield? Or Book of Missiles? Yeah, in 8 it's Book of Missiles. So I think I'm going to rename them in 6 to call it Book of Missiles. No, no, this is different. This is Magic Missiles. Hold on. Maybe there isn't a Missile Shield book. There's one way to find out. We can come over here, spell, Missile Shield. Book of Barriers. Wow, that's a weird name. That's what it's called. Okay. Air Shield. I don't see barriers. Okay. Let's rename this to Book of Barriers. Because Air Shield really doesn't make sense. Rename Book of Air Shield to Book of Barriers. Ron says, could even make a comical 1% kill chance, works only on all bosses. Yeah. Oh, you're just excited, so you're typing fast today, Ron, huh? That's funny. Percy says, surprised I haven't had more typos too. The coffee is still relatively fresh in me. Okay, let's see here. So we got our Book of Barriers. Mage, Bishop, and Samurai only. I need to double check that. Missile Shield. Yep, it's a mage only spell. Okay. Oh man, it's a lot of work to mod, you can tell. So much to make these consistent. Book barriers. Apply. This is a level 2 spell. Is it? So only mage, bishop, samurai. Okay. Book of Silence. Oh, there was a Book of Bears. Look at that. Interesting. So it wasn't in 6, but it was in 7. They renamed it. In 6, it was called the Book of Air Shield, and 7, they renamed it to Barriers. Okay. Well, this one I can just totally replace then with Book of Silence because I don't see a Book of Silence. Yep. Priest, Valkyrie, Bishop, Lord, Monk. Silence, level 3. Cool. Alright guys, that's probably enough modding for now. Hour and a half of productivity is great. So I've put in so many hours offline on modding. I just wanted to show everybody kind of how the process works and how tedious it is. Once I get all the items matched up though, then it'll be fun. Because then I'll actually be going into treasures and figuring out how I want to assign things and who's dropping what and all that kind of stuff. So thanks for the chat, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. And I will see you next time.